What's up, y'all? Bill C, 2020. We're taking a look at James Lugo's On and On. We're setting up the effects for the mix. What you're looking at is, these are the individual channels here. These are the effects right here. The effects like 480L leads over here. So if I turn this dial, this channel feeds the 480. That's the 480 right there. So what this does is it lets you mix and match a bunch of different effects to decide which combination you think sounds the best. Also, you can automate them in different sections. You can automate them in two different ways. Again, using the 480 as an example, I can automate here, or I can automate here. The difference being, if I'm using the fader, that's the output volume for everything that's being sent to the 480. As opposed to, if I'm automating here, this is the input just from this one channel to the 480. What we're looking at today is the relationship between the lead vocal and the guitar solo. Let's listen to it dry.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
So that's the original way the elements were recorded. Now what we're going to do is add effects to them and give the listener a different environment. I haven't finalized which effects I'm going to use or what settings, but the way it's set up right now will work for demonstration purposes. Got the 480 lexicon. This is a pre-delayed plate. The pre-delay is right here, but I'm really using this as the large room. Next up, we have the 224, which I'm using as the medium room. Then you have the 250, which I'm using as the short room. The idea being you can put an element in an environment by sending it to any one of these three or a combination of them. Next is the Cooper time cube, set up with a different delay time on the left and the right. Next is the ATR 102, which is being used 100% wet, so that I can use it just as a slap delay, instead of it also giving me the original sound through a tape deck. I'm using DRMS as a widener, basically to decide if a vocal, for instance, is going to be down the middle or whether it's going to be spread out. And the same thing with guitars. EP34 is another delay. It's on dual mono, so similar to the Cooper time cube, we have different delay times on the left side and the right side. The Chandler Zener is for drum parallel compression, but I might also send other elements to it. The idea here is that when the lead vocal ends and then the solo begins, they have a similar role in the song of gaining the listener's attention. So you want to decide what environment each one is in. So we'll start off dry.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
Let's start with the 480.
Reds on my face! 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 Reds on my face!
So the vocal goes from dry to basically being in a stadium. So you would decide how much of this you want depending on the environment you're trying to put the vocal in.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
So now the guitar is still dry even though there's an effect on the vocal. So let's put the guitar in the same stadium.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
So either of those environments might not work for you as far as your vision of the mix. If you want to automate, you can automate here on the input side, or you can automate here on the output side. If you automate on the output side, it affects everything. If you automate on the input side, it only affects that particular channel.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
See, so you can build the stadium in over time if you want to.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
The other way to do it would be to automate this here. It just depends on your style of how you like to do things. Next up is the medium room at 224.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
The other thing about this is there's no pre-delay on the 224. There's a pre-delay on the 480, so it kicks in later.
Reds on my face!
So it sounds like a delay and then the verb starts.
Reds on my face!
As opposed to 224, it starts immediately.
Reds on my face!
When you blend the two of those, you get the mid room from the beginning and the large room later.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
So the mid room masks the pre-delay on the 480.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
So you can't tell that that isn't the same verb because the 224 gets started and then the 480 comes in.
Reds on my face! 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 Reds on my face!
So that's why I have all these effects stacked up here. What you're going to do is you're going to mix and match and blend them. And then also have 16 channels on my hardware controller. So each one of these dials I have on a physical fader. Let's try out the 250.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
These are pretty similar, but the 250 has a different texture.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
So those are the three verbs. Let's listen to the widener and then we'll get into the delays.
Red's on my face! 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 Red's on my face!
So in this case, we're listening to the chorus lead vocal. The verse lead vocal's over here. So you might want the verse vocal drier, and you might want the chorus vocal wetter. Or like I said, you might want to use it for automation.
Red's on my face! Red's on my face! Red's on my face! Red's on my face! Red's on my face!
The more output you get on the widener, the vocal heads out to the sides instead of staying in the center.
Red's on my face! 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 Red's on my face!
So that's an example of how you might want to automate the output fader on that effect. Delays are up next.
Red's on my face! 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 Red's on.
Slap back with the tape deck.
Red's on my face! 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 Red's on my face!
The delays sound percussive because there's no reverb with it, but when you add reverb, it basically covers over the delays. The delays are not in line with the reverb, but they work together in a way that the delay becomes modulation for the reverb.
Reds up! Reds on my face! 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 Reds on my face!
Again, like I said, the delays aren't set up exactly the way I'm going to have it on the final, but you can hear how percussive they are without the verb on it.
Reds on my face!
But then when you put in the verb, you can barely hear them.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face!
Again, that's the goal of this, is to mix and match and achieve your vision for the mix.
Reds on my face! 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 Reds on my face!
Last up is the Zener, which I mentioned is drum compression, but it can add texture to your other elements also.
Reds on my face! 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 Reds on my face!
So I don't necessarily like how that sounds soloed, but when it's in the mix, that might add some edge that works, for instance, when all the elements of the chorus are playing at the same time. Also, like I was saying about automation, you don't really want to automate the output of the drum parallel because your drums are depending on that. So if you were going to automate anything, you would automate the input. So those are the elements and those are the effects we're using. I'm not using my hardware controller or else it will be faster because, like I said, I have 16 physical channels. So each of the effects would be on its own fader. But here's the way this works in real time.
Reds on my face! Reds on my face! Reds on my face. 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 Reds on my face.
So that's the way we make records. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you can't hear, but it's actually a blend of a bunch of different effects. Let's listen to everything off and everything on.
Reds on my face. 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 Reds on my face.
So that's Effects, Sends, and Returns on James Lugo's On and On. Bill C, 2020. I'm out.